Meghan Markle has just disgustingly broken the terms of the Sandringham Summit in her latest TV farce as the Sussexes start to leak new details about the meeting with the King. How predictable.
There was a time when I thought that she was the villain of the piece, but actually I think it's him.
The UK visit had barely ended, and everything was meant to stay completely secret. But the Sussexes are already moving fast, and first up is Meghan Markle. She has found another way to use the thing she once claimed she wanted to leave behind: her royal title.
She asks contestants to create a dish fit for a duchess, absolutely making money off her so-called royal connections.
After years of talking about freedom, privacy, and life beyond the monarchy, Meghan is stepping onto commercial television in a highly promoted challenge, while contestants are reportedly asked to create a dish fit for a duchess. A duchess, not Meghan the producer, not Meghan the businesswoman, not Meghan the former actress, the duchess. So what exactly happened to the promise that royal status would never become her own private money-making tool now?
This TV appearance goes against both the clear law of the Sandringham Summit, if only it was enforceable by law. Lock her up! Lock the traitor up! But also actually the moral code of what the Sandringham Summit was all about. Create a dish fit for a duchess, be paid on a commercial television project to do that. You are breaking the Sandringham Summit.
The timing says everything here. Her meeting with the king only barely happened, yet those royal titles are suddenly central to the Sussex public image once again. What happened to the spirit of the Sandringham Agreement? And why does every attempt to start fresh somehow bring the same royal title straight back into the picture again? Meghan's appearance on MasterChef Australia is now being sold as a major television event, and the whole challenge seems entirely built around her royal identity.
She can no longer say, oh, this was something the TV producers just did and I'm against it, because the
she just blames
entire
everyone.
challenge is about a dish fit for the Duchess. And you're so right. It's so weird, isn't it? Because it's like everyone's sort of trying to look up to her as if she's royalty when we all know she's not. It's super, super cringe.
Before we continue, I want to mention something really quick. Organizing your family's important information is one of those things most of us know we should do, but we keep putting it off. That's exactly why there's the Family Vault. It gives you one place to organize your important documents, insurance, medical information, passwords, and more, so everything is easy to find when it's needed. You'll find the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code on your screen. That's all. Now, let's get back to today's story. Contestants will reportedly use seasonal ingredients and prepare a dish that is supposedly worthy of a duchess. That phrase is not buried in the background. It is the hook and the reason viewers are expected to care. And that is exactly why critics are furious. The problem is not that Meghan appeared on a cooking show. The problem is that the commercial buzz around the appearance now seems tied to the title she gained from the institution she publicly left. Without the Duchess label, what is the challenge?
This is a woman that once turned around and said, I want to be linked and not ranked, but also the same woman that when she went to, I think it was the LA tar pits, and there was a group of school children, this came out in a report, that there was school children, and she got them, the person, whoever it was, to announce to a bunch of 11, 12-year-old girls, the Duchess of Sussex, let alone when she went to a friend's house that was allowing her to have her interview there. And she also got announced walking into the room.
Cook something for Meghan does not sound nearly as grand. Prepare lunch for a former cable television actress does not create the same publicity. But a dish fit for a duchess instantly hands producers a royal headline, a royal theme, and a royal marketing campaign. So who is really helping whom here? Is Meghan boosting MasterChef Australia? Or is MasterChef Australia helping Meghan keep that royal connection alive? This is the same Meghan who was reportedly deeply uncomfortable when people on camera described her as royalty.
The mainstream media are giving her a pass on this. The royal family are giving her a pass on this, but I'm not, because I am completely disgusted by the fact that confirmation of Ms. Markle as a guest judge on MasterChef Australia shows that she is absolutely making money off her so-called royal connections.
Her reaction led the public to believe that the label had been pushed onto her. She wanted distance from the idea that she traded on royal status. But how can she reject the word royalty while willingly joining a challenge centered on being a duchess? Did nobody explain the episode to her? Did she arrive on set without knowing the theme? Did producers suddenly surprise her once the camera started rolling? Of course not. A television appearance like this does not happen by accident. The challenge is carefully planned.
This was to plump up her bank balance and makes a big thing about, well, I'm not going to be called royalty because, of course, we can't use that. But then the actual challenge is a dish fit for a duchess. I'm sorry. You are breaking the Sandringham Summit. You are yet again disrespecting the late Queen Elizabeth II. You are yet again disrespecting the British royal family. She doesn't care. No one seems to call her out for it anymore, so I will.
The ingredients, promotion, and messaging are all planned. That is exactly why the backlash refuses to fade. Critics are asking whether Meghan wants the freedom of celebrity life while still enjoying the prestige that comes with royalty. She no longer carries out royal duties, represents the king, or follows the rules expected from working members of the royal family. Yet the title keeps appearing whenever a commercial project could use extra attention. How convenient is that?
After everything failed, the way back is to remind the world again that she's a member of this royal family. It's so interesting to me. The one thing that makes her interesting is that she married a royal. So trying to run away from that is just a terrible brand strategy. It's an awful thing too on a human level, on a family level, but I don't think for 1 minute she wanted to meet the king so that she could fix this family. I think it was a business decision, a business idea.
The late Queen made her position clear when Harry and Meghan stepped back. They were not supposed to create a half-in, half-out arrangement where royal status could be used whenever it was useful and ignored whenever responsibility appeared. The legal questions are complicated, and critics cannot simply claim Meghan committed any official wrongdoing by appearing on television. But the bigger moral question is impossible to ignore. Does this appearance respect the spirit of that agreement? Or does it reveal just how much that agreement has weakened since the Sussexes moved to California?
What attracted me to the MasterChef Australia kitchen, she asked? 2 things. My love of food and my love of Australia. It was an easy yes. Don't lie, Meghan. You were like, add a 0 onto the fee. Then maybe I'll do it.
Because Meghan is not being presented as an ordinary television guest. The episode is reportedly built around the fantasy of royal access. Contestants are not simply cooking a delicious meal. They are reportedly being asked to prepare something worthy of a duchess. That transforms the title into entertainment. It turns royal status into a television selling point. And it raises one uncomfortable question. Was leaving the monarchy really about walking away from the institution? Or about keeping the most valuable parts while avoiding the responsibilities?
The oxygen goes out of their attempts to make lots of money because America, Spotify, Netflix, everybody's turned their back because they've seen this couple for what they are. The only thing that they've got left is to not ingratiate themselves, but have a little bit of a visit, be seen, because I don't trust them. I think it will be out there with pictures and everything. I think they've proven that.
Meghan has said that food brings people together, carries memories, and tells meaningful personal stories. That sounds pleasant. But the real story surrounding this episode is not about Brussels sprouts, lemons, honey, or macadamia nuts. It is about branding, status, and whether the Duchess of Sussex title is still being used as a commercial asset years after Meghan stopped working for the crown. And the timing makes everything look even more dramatic.
I mean, let's be honest, Brand Sussex is dead. Everything they touch is a disaster. They've got the political, well, I was going to say the social awareness of 2 of the most tone-deaf people in the world, but at least he's ticked a box, Charles.
Harry and Meghan have only just returned to the center of royal headlines following the private meeting with King Charles. The Sussexes reportedly promised that the meeting would stay completely private. No photographs, no detailed account, no dramatic television retelling. Yet while people are still debating whether that family reunion repaired their royal connection, Meghan's next television appearance arrives wrapped in Duchess branding. Can anyone honestly believe those 2 stories are completely unrelated?
Meghan didn't actually get exactly what she wanted because the Duchess, or the fake Duchess, actually hoped that it was all going to be about securing an image. An insider telling him that a photograph was the real prize.
Royal proximity creates headlines. Headlines attract attention. Attention creates commercial value. That does not prove Meghan planned the timing, but it explains exactly why critics remain suspicious. They believe they have seen this pattern for years. A royal dispute dominates the headlines, a Sussex project appears, and a private royal connection becomes part of the public image. Then supporters argue that Meghan and Harry are simply moving forward. Moving forward to where?
The royal family is meant to be the one institution who isn't going down this path, who we're not meant to know everything about, who do sit above sort of pop culture, celebrity culture. I mean, there's another part of the interview where they're joking about OnlyFans, and you're just like, no, not,
you
not
can't
you.
imagine. You can't imagine, William and Kate sitting there talking about
never.
how she shows her armpits,
Never.
Just wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen.
They keep ending up at the very same palace gates. And that MasterChef appearance is only the start of the story, because Meghan's Netflix lifestyle series has now picked up a Daytime Emmy nomination. Her supporters are celebrating as if Hollywood has finally given her its full approval. They keep pointing to the word Emmy, while insisting critics must finally admit the series was a success. But the nomination has sparked another heated debate.
Equally cringe, Tash. The fact that Meghan Markle appears to have bought herself an Emmy nomination. But Tash, not for the actual Emmys, right? Which are the big deal where you get all of the primetime shows competing against each other, like, The Diplomat and Hacks. And do you know what I mean? The big deal,
shows
big budget TV
of.
shows that you've heard of. This is the daytime Emmys, Tash.
Was this truly a major creative achievement? Or was it helped by a costly awards campaign behind a heavily promoted lifestyle series? Awards campaigning is nothing unusual in Hollywood. Studios advertise. Producers reach out to voters. Publicists work hard to build momentum. That does not mean the nomination was literally purchased, but it does mean nominations do not simply appear out of nowhere. Money, connections, publicity, and industry relationships all play a role.
It was the only thing that she could get her hands on, because she wasn't going to be listed or nominated for a real Emmy, was she? I mean, this is a woman that got nicknamed Salmonella Sussex because of her absolutely diabolical kitchen hygiene, let alone the basic stuff. People could be, I suppose, a bit picky, saying, oh, she doesn't hold a knife right and she can't grate a lemon right. This is a woman that had raw chicken in the fridge, that was wearing her jewelry as she bastes and molests raw chicken.
So when critics claim Meghan bought the nomination, that is clearly an accusation and an opinion rather than an established fact. The bigger question is whether the nomination actually changes what audiences thought about the show. Did viewers suddenly forget all the negative reviews? Did the awkward moments somehow disappear? Did every complaint about the cooking, hosting, and staged conversations suddenly become meaningless just because an awards group included the series on its list? Of course not. A nomination creates valuable publicity.
She was a basic kitchen hygiene red flag. And the show at the end of the day got cancelled after one season. It was so bad. They filmed 16 episodes and they split it into 2 so she could pretend that it was renewed for season 2. Remember her dancing around in that little baseball cap? It was all staged. There was no season 2. They filmed it all in one go. And I think that they tried to get the best episodes in the first season. But Dan, you and I sat through that. I mean, that's hours of our lives that we've lost forever.
It is not a time machine. It cannot erase the reaction that already happened. Even the category itself has become part of the criticism. The series launched on Netflix with huge promotion, famous guests, and the image of a premium streaming production. Now it is being celebrated in a Daytime Emmy lifestyle category. There is absolutely nothing wrong with daytime television. Millions of viewers genuinely enjoy daytime programs.
How on earth can With Love Meghan qualify for the Daytime Emmys? It is a streaming show that was very much launched as a prime time proposition on Netflix with a prime time budget. But no, she's got a daytime Emmy nomination.
Yeah.
But critics are asking why such an expensive, heavily promoted Netflix project is now being presented as a huge triumph after entering a category with very different expectations. Was this really the original dream? Did Meghan leave the royal family to compete in a lifestyle category alongside programs with much smaller publicity budgets? Is this the worldwide empire supporters kept promising? Or is the word Emmy carrying far more weight than the achievement itself?
For that hideous Netflix show she did with Love Meghan. It's amazing to me. Like, quite possibly the actual worst product to hit television over the past 5 years.
The nomination also gives Meghan another chance to present the series as officially validated. That matters because her entertainment career remains under constant public scrutiny. Every project, launch, and interview turns into another battle over whether the Sussex brand is growing stronger or falling apart. The nomination gives supporters something they can proudly point toward, but it also hands critics fresh material. They can ask how much money went into promoting the series. They can compare the massive launch with the final outcome.
Apparently got a Daytime Emmy nomination for most boring show ever. No, but apparently lifestyle show.
They can remind everyone that a nomination does not guarantee a victory. And they can question whether audiences watched because they loved Meghan's lifestyle ideas or because controversy kept her name dominating the headlines. What happens if the series loses? Will supporters still describe the nomination as undeniable proof of success? What happens if it wins? Will that lead to another season, more specials, and stronger viewing numbers?
It's just one more step closer to the grave for Hollywood.
Or will Meghan hold an award while the bigger business plan continues facing difficult questions? That is the real pressure behind this nomination. It cannot stay a symbolic victory forever. It has to deliver real results. More viewers, more deals, more episodes, more products, and clear proof that people truly want what Meghan is selling. Otherwise, the Emmy headline becomes another flashy announcement that quickly fades without leaving any lasting impact.
We know we're not dealing with two smart people.
It's a loveless, effed up marriage.
And while Meghan is trying to turn television and lifestyle branding into credibility, Harry is certainly not making things any easier. His latest podcast appearance has already been slammed as one of the most uncomfortable interviews he has ever given. The conversation included crude jokes, personal grooming stories, and moments that critics argued were completely beneath the son of a king. Harry looked relaxed. He laughed. He happily joined the conversation, but the public reaction was relentless. People questioned how a man who still introduces himself through his royal identity could bring that identity into this kind of discussion. Where was the dignity? Where was the good judgment?
Asked about his grooming routine, he decides to talk about something he describes as shit, shower, and shave, leading to a truly repulsive conversation about his pubic hair that is completely unbecoming.
What's your grooming routine with your auburn?
Just shit, shower, shave, obviously.
Shit, shower, and a shave?
Yes.
So you answering?
How did you get rid of it?
Where was the awareness that every comment would be clipped, shared, and replayed across the internet? Harry wanted to escape the rigid rules of royal life. Fair enough, but freedom does not have to come with public embarrassment. Being casual does not mean throwing away every limit. And being relatable does not mean sharing personal stories that nobody asked to hear. We covered that controversial interview in full yesterday. So once this video ends, head over to the Crown Clash channel and see just how far that conversation really went.
Yeah. Normally once you're 40 or older, never trust a fart. But you're young and you, on the M25, shout your pants via a fart. That's hilarious.
Mike Graham, that's the son of the king. That
I
is
mean,
the son of the king.
Dan, I'm not a wilting flower. Appalling. It's just appalling. What's he thinking?
Because a quick summary cannot fully explain how awkward it became. The interview also creates a sharp contrast with Meghan's carefully polished television image. She is trying to appear elegant, composed, and aspirational. She is judging food. She is sharing personal memories. She is celebrating an Emmy nomination. Meanwhile, Harry is making crude jokes on a podcast and reminding people why palace staff reportedly managed every royal appearance so carefully. How can those two public images exist inside the same marriage? How can Meghan promote refinement while Harry projects complete chaos?
And actually, I think now he is more to blame for the fallout of the relationship between him and his father and him and his brother. And she's just a kind of a part of his life, a small part of his life, who he probably doesn't care about. He probably doesn't really love her. He treats her like a sort of, surrogate mother, because she's the mother he never had when Diana, his mother, died when he was young. But he's a pathetic specimen. I mean, it's like, come on, man. We've all suffered. We've all been through some crap. Don't be so appalling, and have some respect for the people who look up to you for one reason or another.
How can they present themselves as a serious global couple when one project is designed to look polished and luxurious, while the next interview feels like a private locker room conversation that never belonged in public? This is where the story becomes even more controversial. One commentator went even further by claiming Harry may not truly love Meghan. He described her as only one part of Harry's life, and suggested Harry treats her like a replacement mother because of losing Princess Diana. That is not a confirmed fact.
All of the past few years, Harry has tried to make out that he's this big brain and this sensitive soul. Actually, he's just a man-child. And all of a sudden, when you watch that, look, I know we've all got our strong views on Ms. Markle, but when you watch that, you sort of do understand why she's very turned off him. Because a woman doesn't want that, Mike.
It is simply one commentator's personal opinion. Nobody outside that marriage knows exactly how Harry feels. But the comment continues spreading, because many people believe the couple's public image has changed. The earlier picture seemed simple. Harry was the devoted husband. Meghan was the woman who rescued him. They held hands. They defended one another. They presented themselves as a united team standing against a hostile institution. Now audiences see separate projects, different directions, and repeated reports about professional pressure. Meghan appears focused on food, television, products, and lifestyle branding.
Trained to be a member of the royal family, he was taught how to behave. He rejected it. He decided to become a snowflake. He decided to become a me, obsessive.
Harry appears caught between court cases, royal tensions, Invictus, podcasts, and the identity he once claimed he wanted to leave behind. Are they still working toward the same future together? Or are they simply living under the same brand name? That is exactly the question critics keep asking. The commentators claim that Harry sees Meghan as a substitute for the mother he lost is a psychological theory that cannot be proven through interviews or television clips. But supporters of that theory point to a pattern Harry has openly discussed himself. He has repeatedly spoken about Diana. He has compared Meghan's experiences to Diana's. He has explained major decisions through his fear of history repeating itself.
There's like a toxicity.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's what I think Harry's stuck in, a sort of toxic mess with Meghan.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is.
He has carried that pain through interviews, documentaries, and even his memoir. So what happens when the person he once described as his protector becomes tired of all the chaos surrounding him? What happens when Meghan wants a polished business image while Harry keeps creating headlines that pull attention in the opposite direction? What happens when the man who left Britain to protect his family continues bringing royal conflict into every new chapter of his life? Does Meghan still see Harry as the biggest part of her future? Does Harry still see Meghan as the person who changed his life? Or have those roles simply become exhausting for both of them? The MasterChef story shows Meghan still benefiting from the Duchess identity. The Emmy nomination shows her searching for recognition inside the entertainment industry. The podcast shows Harry using the freedom he fought for in ways that critics believe damage the image they are trying to build.
For Meghan, it's achieved what she wants. It's once again re-established, the maybe not been seen, but we read the news story, that they're still part of the royal family. And that, I think, is what people find.
Oh, she didn't want to be part of the royal family. Yeah. She called them racists and everything else.
But brand Sussex is entirely dependent on some sort of association. Hence the reason why when you see all her packaging for her as ever, all I can hope is that the jam, they had some proper jam served at the tea from Highgrove rather than the slop that Meghan calls strawberry spread.
And the marriage commentary shows how quickly observers are turning those contradictions into questions about love. None of this proves the marriage is ending. It does suggest that the public story surrounding the marriage is changing, and that difference matters. For years, Almost every problem was blamed on the palace. Every damaging headline was blamed on the British press. Every setback was blamed on discrimination, jealousy, sabotage, or an institution that supposedly refused to understand them. But what happens when the palace is no longer part of the story? Who gets blamed when Meghan's show is criticized? Who gets blamed when Harry gives another uncomfortable interview? Who gets blamed when their projects move in completely different directions? Who gets blamed when commentators start asking whether the relationship itself has lost its original purpose? They wanted independence. Now, independence also brings responsibility.
There's really been a lot about the negativity in this marriage which is coming through across the course of this visit too.
Before we continue, one quick thing. One thing I've realized is that most families don't have their important information organized in one place. That's exactly why I recommend the Family Vault, a simple, printable, and fillable organizer where you can keep everything from important documents and insurance to medical information, passwords. You'll find the link in the description, or you can simply scan the QR code on your screen. Now let's get back to today's story. They own the projects, the interviews, the strategy, and the consequences. Meghan cannot blame palace advisors for a Duchess-themed television challenge. Harry cannot blame royal protocol for the words he personally chose during that podcast. Netflix cannot make viewers love a lifestyle series. An Emmy nomination cannot make the public admire it. And one commentator cannot end a healthy marriage with a single harsh opinion. But every controversy and every contradiction increases the pressure, while every royal title used for publicity reminds people that the Sussexes never completely separated themselves from the institution they once strongly criticized. So where does all of this lead? Does Meghan keep using the Duchess title whenever it adds value to another commercial project? Does Harry keep introducing himself as a prince while acting more like a celebrity trying to surprise the audience?
There's nothing cute about this. There's nothing ordinary about this. It's not about Harry the cheeky chappy. This is just about a man who is degrading what he should be about. A man who has spent years trying to convince us that he is some type of amazing academic thinker, that he's an intellect, that he's fighting for true causes. Whereas actually, do you know what Harry wants to do? Harry wants to drive a conversation about people shitting themselves on a motorway.
Does the Emmy nomination lead to a genuine comeback, or does it become another headline that disappears within a few days? And can any marriage thrive when both people seem to need completely different versions of the very same brand? Meghan is building an image centered on elegance and control, while Harry keeps creating moments many people describe as embarrassing and chaotic. She wants Hollywood recognition, while he keeps returning to royal disputes and old frustrations. They may still love each other deeply. They may still stand completely united behind closed doors. But their public image is no longer telling one simple story. It is telling several different stories all at once. A duchess accused by critics of cashing in. A lifestyle personality chasing awards. A prince facing public embarrassment. And a marriage now being questioned by many of the same people who once blamed Meghan for nearly everything. That is exactly why this television appearance matters. It is much bigger than one cooking challenge. It shines a light on the contradiction sitting at the center of the entire Sussex story. They left the royal system, but they still rely on royal language. They rejected royal control, yet they often appear to struggle without royal discipline. They ask for privacy, but public interest grows whenever royal attention returns. They wanted the world to see them as fully independent, yet the word Duchess remains one of Meghan's strongest marketing tools. So tell me what you think. Is the MasterChef appearance simply harmless entertainment? Or is Meghan once again using a royal title to generate commercial publicity? Does the Emmy nomination prove her series truly succeeded? Or is Hollywood recognizing promotion more than popularity? Was Harry's podcast simply lighthearted conversation between adults? Or did he embarrass himself and damage the Sussex brand once again? And do you believe the marriage is genuinely struggling? Or are commentators building a crisis around one awkward interview that may not reflect reality? One thing does seem clear. Harry and Meghan wanted the freedom to control their own story. Now the palace can no longer protect them from the story they are creating themselves.